Well, welcome to the final of the Supreme Pool Series, the K8.com Classic, and we have two classical players in the final. Winner of event 1, Scott Gillespie, and Shaun, who won the Bulldog Challenge on the amateur event when I first started doing these series. So two great finalists. First of all, Scott, how does it feel to be in another final?
Yeah, I'm over the moon. If somebody said to me at the start of the year, you're going to be in one final regardless even just winning an event, I would have snapped their hand off, you know what I mean? So to be in another final, I'm over the moon, to be honest.
And you've come through a terrible section of the draw. You know, you started off straight away with the winner of the last two events. Couldn't be in a worse draw for you, really.
Yeah, it wasn't a great section for me, but as I've always said, sometimes that kind of motivates me because you then kind of like let your guard down, so to speak, so you kind of have to be focused for every shot. So it's not a great thing, but for me it's worked this time.
Yeah, I mean, the list of players that you've played: Phil Harrison, Gareth Hibbert, Jordan Church, Declan Brennan twice, Craig Waddingham, and then you just put a great performance in against your good friend Mark Boyle.
Yeah, I done one for the English Open a few weeks ago, so it was good to get one back, Mark. But no, I feel good, and obviously I've got a tough game against Shaun, but I'm sure it'll be a great final regardless.
Okay, well, best of luck to the final.
Thanks.
We'll go over to Shaun. Shaun, you won one of my events when we first started doing these weekend events, and it was the Bulldog Challenge, and that was probably the biggest title you won at that stage. What would it mean to you to win this one?
I mean, it's a completely different tournament now, isn't it? With, you know, another 64 entries for a start, and obviously open to anyone, whereas you had a lot of restrictions last year to fill the 64, you know, because it was a new thing. yeah, but it's incredible to even be in a final. You know, it's been dominated, as you can tell. You know, Dunster's been in 2 finals, Scott's been in 2 finals now, Phil's been in 2 finals, Mick's been in a final. I mean, it's incredible the people that have got there. And you know, wouldn't have thought it'd be me, to be fair, but.
Well, you're obviously a great player. You've won one of the amateur events, and you've stepped up now into the series and played all the best players. I mean, your draw hasn't been easy either. You've had Drew Hughes' first game, which you had a tight battle with. Then you missed Kapow in the second one. Tobias Bolt, Dave Fernandez. You also played Gareth Hibbert. Then your big scalp, probably the biggest win of your career, I would say, against Mick Hill.
It was the biggest, definitely.
And another good match in the semi-final against Callum Singleton. So you haven't had an easy path either, and both players have come through the winner's side, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, you know, in the strength and depth of field, and we've got to event 4, and this is the first time that we've had 2 winners, two finalists come through the winner's side. So, you know, I think that's hats off to both of you.
So you've had the shorties run through. Good luck in the final. We'll get you straight out there. We'll announce you out and give the fans what they want to see, a great final. Good luck, guys, and may the best man win.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Welcome to the final of the Supreme Tour Series, event 4, the K.com Classic. I'm sure we'll have a classic final between 2 great players. Before we announce the players out, we'll do the officials on my left-hand side. Viv Roscoe, you can stay there, Viv. Give you a bit of rest, you've had a long weekend. And Rick Lloyd, if you'd like to make your way into the arena, he's the referee for the final. You can clap, guys, if you want. He is a nice man. Okay, let's get on with the proceedings. First of all, the Bulldog Challenge. When we first set one of the events up, Shaun Storry, who came from the outside of 9 Ball, didn't know much about him. We certainly know a hell of a lot about him now. The final of his first Supreme Pool Series, Shaun Storry. And this man needs no introduction. Again, he got to one of the finals of the amateur events, but he's nowhere near an amateur player. He's one of the greatest players to play. He won the first event, the Jason Owen Open. He's now trying to make it 2. He's trying to match Phil Harrison's 2, and you know, take the title back to Scotland. The one and only Scott Gillespie. Best 21 frames, may the best man win. Good luck, guys.
So there we go. The Master of Ceremonies, Lee Kendall. He completes the announcements. The players are ready to lag. On the left of the screen, Shaun Storry. On the right, Scott Gillespie. And gives me pleasure to to welcome Lee Kendall in the commentary box. This is a rare occasion for us, Lee.
Yeah, I try to keep out as much as I can, and I do all the studio work, and I might even pass that over to you at some point, Nick. But no, my job is to get the players here and try and get everything run smoothly. I'm sure we're going to have a great final here. Two great players. I think they like this venue. They've done well in most of the events I've run.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Scott, one of the most informed players in the country. I mean, he went deep in the Murphy's event recently, and here he is in another final. And that win against Mark Boyle as well. That's
every time I've seen him play, he's played awesome. I really rate him. And
yeah.
I don't see a lot of him because I don't follow the Blackpool scene, but what I have seen of this guy is an absolute machine.
And he has one of the best breaks around as well, doesn't he? Absolutely brutal on that front ball. Times it so well.
Yeah, and you can see we use the short rack, which will open the frames up and look at that for a split.
Yeah. The balls just go far and wide. So, as you see, Lee can got Lee on the mind. Scott Gillespie.
I might be in the final one day.
Maybe you'll have to enter the series next year.
That won't be happening. I like to make
then,
things happen.
And then you can just delegate all the jobs to somebody else and just focus on the game.
Yeah, focusing on the game. You see, that was a good break, and the yellow's at the table for Scott, and he's got a great chance to put the opening frame on the board.
Yeah. That's a really well controlled shot. So, just while I've got you on commentary, because I might not be able to keep you here for the whole game, so I just wanted to question you really about. You obviously had this dream and this ambition for the Supreme Pool Series, and it's come to fruition. And here we are, nearing the conclusion of Event 4, on the verge of going into a grand final in a couple of months' time. You know, what have your thoughts been overall?
I've loved the fact that the both sides, as it says on the table, when two worlds collide, I love the fact that they're all in one place, and you can actually see who's going to be the best player at the end of the series. I've loved that side of it.
Yeah.
It's been tough. It's been a hard year to get it where I want it to be.
Yeah.
People aren't always going to agree with what I do, and there are things that we try to do, but everything is done for what we consider the best thing.
Yeah.
Might not be everybody's cup of tea, but we're just trying our best, and hopefully we get most things right.
Yeah. I mean, there's that old saying, isn't there? You can't please everyone, and you're never going to please everyone. But as long as you do, the things that are essentially what you believe to be right for the game. I mean, you're an old campaigner now. With the greatest respect, you've been around for many years. You've been.
Yeah, I've played in lots of events, and you see the conditions you want to play in. And
you've gone away from so many events, from events all over the world, and you've taken something from them, something they've done right, and something they've done wrong, and you bring all of that wealth of knowledge with you.
Yeah, I tried to. That was a great finish then.
It was a great finish.
A good start for Scott. Nice break, and he was in total control. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But on this particular match, it's important that Shaun gets a grip of Scott, because he's playing so well that he could quite easily be like a runaway train.
Yeah. Well, he was against Mark, wasn't he? If he can do that to Mark Boyle, then he can definitely do it to Shaun.
Yeah. Going back to your question, on the whole, I think I've enjoyed it. I'm pleased that we've got both sides together. Keeping them together isn't going to be easy, but I think we've set a standard with a lot of things that we've done which other people have copied, which I'm happy that they copy, because we must be doing something right. We put quite a bit of money the players' way where they can earn a living, and it's inspired other events, like Seb put an event on, which was a great event. That was 5,000 the winner. And Mark Boyle won that. Congratulations to Mark and Seb for putting on a great event.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that it paves the way for other events. I mean, at the end of the day, it just keeps the whole pool scene buoyant, and that's ultimately the goal for all of us.
Well, it helps the players become professional.
Mm.
You know, they need to earn a living, and if you don't put events on, people lose heart. You lose players out of the game, which we have done over the last few years.
Yeah, you look at the amount of players who started event one who played the game professionally. I mean, probably count them on one hand, couldn't you?
Well,
You've got Ben Davis and Mick Hill. I mean, obviously Darren and Jason, Chris Melling, but you know they're few and far between, aren't they?
Yeah, there just isn't the money in the sport, and I said the other day on the internet that this year is the most money that's ever been in the sport, and you know, if every year was like this, there could be more professional players in the true sense of a professional.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of dream, and I mean, you could kind of, if you could project forward 5 years and see half the players on this in this series are suddenly playing professional because there's enough money in the game for them to make a living.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just from here though. I mean, the IPA run a great event, the UK Pool Tour. There's even like smaller tours, one-day events. But when you start playing on the series, you're earning proper money. It's a minimum of £5,000, and no other series or tour pays that sort of money. And it's the target amount and more that we should be looking for. But back to the game. Shaun, first look at Shaun. Not as easy a split as the first frame, so tricky little finish.
Ten seconds.
And you can see Nicky's just got an awkward red in the middle of the table by yellow. Will go into the top pocket, but he just needs to make sure of his angle. He's showing you the other one at the bottom side, which he's going to attack at the right hand side. Needs a good kiss. I think he's not had the best of kisses, to be honest.
No, this now becomes very tricky.
Yeah, I think he can get through to the one where nearest to where he's standing now. Might be forced to take that one into the top pocket.
So I'm sure many of the people watching are familiar with these two players. You've been watching them play over the weekend, but a quick look at their profiles. And Scott Gillespie, his nickname is Goobsy, 32 years old. And he has a fiancée, Melanie. He uses a Craftsman Q with a 9.2 Elkmaster tip. And he's got a long list of titles behind him, including that win in Event 1 and a number of different IPA titles. He used to be a keen snooker player, and he started playing pool age 17, as he didn't think he'd make the grade as a professional snooker player. So made the transition, and probably very thankful that he did. His greatest inspiration was his dad, who was also a keen pool player. He's been excited about the pool series, the Supreme Series, and yeah, he wrote this profile before the first event, and I'm sure he could have never imagined, as he said before in the interview, not just making one final, but winning a title and every chance to win a second.
Yeah, he saw the drop of the shoulders from Shaun there. He made a good double, but he collided with the yellow and he's left himself in no man's land, really.
And Scott, interestingly, until about 5 or 6 years ago, could never play a ball with side. So he played everything playing ball. he's certainly found something. He can play with side now, that's for sure. And he's a very adept golfer as well. So that's Scott Gillespie.
Ten seconds.
Goodness me. That was a big shout from Viv.
Yeah, I think she wants to make sure she's heard, but I prefer it that way than
Yeah, for sure.
when you can't really hear it. So how do you call that? But that was Shaun's first chance at a finish, and probably a little bit nervous as well. It's a big final for him. He knows he's got the tiger by the tail, and Scott, who's on fire.
Yeah. So Scott's opponent, Shaun Storry, nicknamed PF1, age 32. He comes from around the Essex area, Colchester. He uses a maple cue with an 8mm century tip. And we already heard in his list of achievements he won the Bulldog Challenge, which was the kind of pre-runner to this event. And he's won the Hearts Tour, and also quite a lot of titles in 9-ball. Used to be quite a keen 9-ball player, playing on the GB9 Tour. Started playing pool about 15 years ago, and he transitioned across from snooker as he found pool an easier game. His ambition to be world champion one day, and who's to say that he won't make that, having made this final. Wow.
Well, I think he just put a fast stroke in there, a little bit careless. It's important to punish these mistakes.
Yeah.
Shaun will be mightily relieved to get another go. You talk about turning points in match, that could be a very early one.
Yeah.
2-0 to 1 apiece.
I mean, I mentioned on commentary earlier, these, people kind of say, oh, it's a race to 11. You know, the early frames, they're not that important. But, I mean, that was proven wrong in that Jordan Shepherd game. He lost that game against Mark Boyle in the first 4 or 5 frames. You know, Mark got ahead and he just could never catch up.
Yeah, it's a 2-frame swing, even though you're playing 1 frame. Instead of being 2-0, it's 1-all and all to play for. So a good shot of the arena there. You can see the sponsors, and also our stats, which Andrew Sheldon has done for us. A great job.
He has, yeah. That's the.
I'll have to be quick to read it though.
Well, yeah, I think they're just going to look at updating them, because they were the stats from the first frame.
Okay, we'll come back to that though. As like I was saying, you can see Shaun there, right next to the K8.com sign. Our series sponsor, Supreme, in the middle. And our company name plays pool events.
It's quite unusual when we get to this part of the event, because it's just a bit quieter in the arena, but also all weekend I've had the ability to look at the screen and look at the other scores around, but of course there aren't any now. This is the last game and it gets our full attention, and you see the stats on the screen.
Scott Gillespie to break, 1 frame all.
Of course, 1 frame each, and those stats will be updated as the match goes on.
Another big break, but this time he lost the cue ball.
Yeah, noticeable when he played on stream last night that he was losing. He loses the cue ball quite a lot on a number of his frames. The white ball was running around the angles. That time got kicked into the middle. It gives Shaun this very presentable chance with ball in hand. It's almost one of those finishes that, I mean, all the reds are there, aren't they? It almost doesn't doesn't need to use his free shot.
I think go reds or yellows.
Yeah.
Uh,
So this is probably the only ball that was even slightly tricky. So just moving that down over the middle bag. And of course, I mean, both of these players come through the winner's side, so they both, played the same amount of pool through the weekend. But even so, it's a long weekend. I think both of these players are they're not particularly party animals. I've not seen them at the bar kind of drinking, and some players enjoy that, don't they? But these guys are professional, and they probably had a couple of decent nights' sleep. But even so, when we get to Sunday evening, fatigue can play a part. It's been
and it does harm, like saying they stayed in the winner's side, so less matches. I don't think these players would be drinking knowing that they are on the winner's side. They're giving themselves less of a chance to win. Knowing full well, like you say, it's a long weekend.
Has he just come?
I think he's okay. Just.
Yeah, just. Almost looks like it's a bit double jointed in his arm, doesn't it? When he in his elbow as he bridges.
Yeah, so it's all turned around when it could have been 2-0. And Old Scott. This 8 ball makes it 2 frames to 1 to Shaun. As I say, it's now a different story.
Yeah. So this page of statistics that you saw during the last frame was something that we're trialing, just to bring you a bit of extra interest between the frames, something else to talk about, and we can keep a tab of. There you go. The amount of break dishes, dry breaks, so on and so forth. So you can see the foul break that Scott just made
Shaun Storry to
on
break.
the right hand side.
2 frames to 1. Time
So I
running.
think that's a great addition. And Shaun Storry to get us underway in frame number 4. He's got a really good, powerful break, and he puts a lot of body into it, doesn't he? I mean, I think I mentioned it during the last match. It probably comes from his 9-ball background, because you don't see lots and lots of players put that much body into the break shot.
Yeah, it's a different technique, and he definitely gets through the cue ball.
And another really good break. The balls have gone into a pretty decent pattern.
Ten seconds. 10 seconds.
Extension called.
A great plant there from Shaun Storry. Spotted a good one there.
And now this is a really good chance for an early 3-1 lead. And I think a lot of people after that Mark Ball result would have expected Scott to be running away with this one. And we saw it earlier, didn't we? We saw Jordan Shepherd playing against Shane Thompson, and he won 11-1 in an hour in the last 16, and then a couple hours later back on against Mark Boyle, and just seemed to be stuck in the mud and not able to get going. It's amazing how your game can turn around in a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's just down to the break. You know, he broke well and he just punished Shane. It's a great opportunity to extend his lead. He was a little bit snatchy on that shot, shows he hasn't quite settled yet.
It's okay, he doesn't need to do anything here. He's just got enough angle, can drop this in.
Yeah, he's just looking when he drops it in, if he can just show you know what he wants a cue ball to be. Pot the red and run over towards the yellow. He just needs to be careful he doesn't go behind the yellow. I think he can play into it and beyond the black and the middle pocket. So he's just been extra careful now that he gets a right angle.
Yeah, normally this would be straightforward, but it's the traffic around that black that just causes a slight problem. This looks just about perfect. So now he's got options there, hasn't he? He can just stun up underneath these two yellows, or he could screw back into the yellow.
He just has to be careful. I think he's a bit higher than you'd like to be. He's going into the back of it. And that was a danger. I think he was a bit too high on it. If he was a bit lower, then he could have flicked off it. I don't think he can botch it in the middle. He might have to go long. Definitely goes into the top pocket. Into the top corner. Big
Nailed
shot.
it. Nailed it. What a super shot. And a ripple of applause, and well deserved. That's in only three frames to one lead.
Yeah, he's quite fortunate to still be on that because his shot before he was too high. He wanted really to be going into the yellow full ball rather than coming off the cushion. There we see the stats again. Import 1 at the bottom, 3 frames to 1.
Yep.
No safety shots played yet.
One break and dish from Scott. One reverse dish from Shaun.
And 1 skill shot.
Yep. Don't expect to see too much in the way of safety shots between these two, do we?
Nope.
I'm not even sure that Scott's got any kind of safety shot in his armoury. He's a very, very attacking player.
Scott Gillespie to break, trailing 3 frames to 1.
The clear voice of our referee young Rick Lloyd, who's done a great job this weekend. There we see that big, well-timed break that echoes around this room as he hits the front ball, and everything splits far and wide. Yellows look okay, but you've got the red and yellow kind of just tied up on the side rail. Is he going to be looking to try and develop that early?
Yeah, he's definitely going to play the yellows. I don't think the one along the cushions may do, so he's going to slide it underneath first.
Yeah.
Right, he's played the cannon.
He's played to develop at the same time. Not quite come out. He was looking to cannon the red. But, he's going to have to work out another plan for that now.
Yeah, I think I'll be coming down the table here, taking the one over the bottom left-hand corner, and coming back up, and he's determined to get onto this yellow early. I think he's a bit on it. That's a nice shot. Good cue ball control. He's left
Very
himself
nice.
the plant. Wasn't sure he got the angle to slide over there, but that was definitely the right shot.
And even though he's quite a brutal player, isn't he? I mean, everything he hits is hard. He punches everything into the pocket, but he's still got a lovely touch with the cue ball.
Yeah,
His cue ball control is superb.
I'm a big fan of his game, and certainly when you're watching him on the stream, he just looks great to watch.
Yeah. Everything played just as a real punch shot. Controlled that really well. Knew exactly the path of the yellow. Simple enough, but you still have to execute it. And those are the things that can go wrong. So I can just stand down in the middle of the table to take the yellow into centre and just come around the back of the pack. Or two cushions.
He's a little bit skinny on this one in the middle.
Yeah.
So he's going to be dropping lower down than he wanted to. Maybe forced to bring the cue ball off two cushions, and that brings that red into play near the 8 ball. Oh, he's gone inside it. Has he lost it?
Oh no. Disaster.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't obviously the plan, but I think the shot before caused that problem.
3 shots, 1 visit.
Yeah.
Time running.
Any kind of contact there with any of the balls, he would have fairly likely been on that yellow. Almost unlucky to find that gap through, and you can see he's just toweling his face, and he's got his head hung at the moment. Just a bit peeved and perplexed at what's going on. So Shaun going to come down, take out this yellow as it's the only bit of traffic in his way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play these rules, but I think I would have played the one just by the line and down, move the yellow out of the way, and promoted that one.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the shot he played.
I guess if you're leaving the yellow on the table, it can go, you know, it can cause a problem later in the break. So just get it off the table and back yourself to clear them, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's tried to land on the one to the left side now, but it's just a bit thinner than absolutely comfortable. Should still be fine, but and I guess he can play this as a kind of shot to nothing anyway, can't he? He'll come across to the right hand side of the table. Yeah, played it well.
Yeah, well controlled. I know I'm slightly biased, but I do like the colour of the cloth rather than the green. I think it looks so much better on the camera.
And the feedback generally been good?
Yeah, but I'm not going to please everybody, but I think the majority like it. They're pleased with the pace, which is what we work really hard to get.
I think Jay Dewars mentioned something on the Facebook chat earlier, and he said it's the best cloth he's ever played on. So, you know, high praise indeed.
A lot of people have said that. I mean, my table fitter said it's the best cloth they've ever fitted. And they don't normally fit this brand, and I think they're converted. Well, they are converted because they've asked me to order some in for them. So
oh, wow. Well, that's again, it's a massive stamp of approval, isn't it?
Most definitely.
And just to explain to the viewers, I mean, it is a napped cloth, but it's a very, very fine nap, isn't it? If you run your hand back across the nap, it's almost like a very small bristle.
Yeah, that's a key to get just a short bristle, because that gets you that extra couple of rolls of the cue ball.
Yeah. And has it got a name yet?
No, we're still working on that.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, at the moment, it's just known as the Superfine, isn't it?
Well, actually, it just said Superfine, as in how the cut was, and that isn't
Yeah.
going to be the name. That's just a label that was actually badged on it, so they know it was that one. But
Yeah.
the name will be spoken about this week, and I'm sure Strachan will inform me what they're going to choose.
Excellent.
I think they're more bothered that the players were happy with it, and
Yeah.
I give them that feedback, most definitely.
And from a personal perspective, I mean, I'm the guy who probably watches more pool over this weekend than anybody else. Maybe there's someone in the chat box who's joined me for every single hour, but you know, when you're watching it on the TV, it is quite easy on the eye.
Well, I think it looks modern. It gets you away from being a mini snooker, what people
Yeah.
tend to say.
So again, a look at those stats: 4 frames to 1 in favour of Shaun Storry.
And twice as many balls potted.
Yeah.
Stats do tell a story, but they don't tell the full story. And I think the story of this match so far was the missreality of turning up, and that's turned the match. An early turn, but you know, Scott needs to get back in. He's made 2 unforced errors, and
Shaun Storry to
All
break,
credit to Shaun,
leading 4 frames
the
to
fact
1.
that
Time money.
he's taken full advantage of those mistakes.
it's a great camera angle, seeing the ball still flying around the table.
And interestingly, seeing Shaun breaking with his playing cue, which is a bit of a rarity nowadays, isn't it? Most players turn up with a couple of cues. They most have got either an adapted Chinese or American, or even one of these bespoke-made break cues.
Yeah, I mean, I used to break with my break cue, but I always used to play with a very small and a thin tip, and a lot of players are going to a little bit thicker shaft to get more power. But I mean,
And also it protects you. You know, if you're playing with like a 7.5 mil tip, you don't
Exactly.
necessarily want to be breaking it. And also, if you get it just slightly off center, it's gonna play a lot more side on the ball.
I think the benefit of breaking with your own cue is you know the feel of it.
Yeah, true.
And that's a big factor why people do break with their normal cue. It just feels natural in the hand.
And you still break with your normal cue now?
I break with my Chinese cue.
Okay.
I just got used to it. I like the fact that it's a thicker shaft and
Yeah.
you get more power. Unless I play the cut break where that's just more of a punt and you bring the balls into the open. But certainly with power, it's the thicker cue. I think it's 11.7 mil tip, so you hit it in the centre of the white quite easily. But if you look at this split now, it's a great chance for Shaun to push on.
10 seconds.
Indeed. So this yellow didn't pass to bottom left, so leaving it for the middle, and I think he's got a nice angle just to drop across for the other yellow to middle, the one just to the right of the centre line. Just looking now, the angle he wants to leave. And this really is the key to the frame, isn't it? These next couple of shots.
Yeah, he just needs to concentrate, make sure he bots the yellow first of all, and maintain a good position.
10 seconds.
Like I said, he needed to make sure he potted the ball. He didn't do that, and now a chance for Scott to get back into this match.
He probably just had a little more angle than he needed in trying to hold it. That's what cost him the pot. Trying to make sure he holds for the one to the middle. And as it was, he overran that shot as well. So, Scott Gillespie with a great chance. The two yellows to the right-hand side kind of covering each other. So he needs to take the bottom one first. He could maybe drop the top one of the three into the middle, but he's taking a look at that now.
Yeah, I think he's got lots of choices. I think he's thinking if he takes someone out into the middle pocket, then always works out the way.
Yeah.
It's obviously the trickier pot of the two.
He's fired it in there, hasn't he?
He's struck it in very confidently, yeah.
You see so many play. I mean, just for a split second, the way he was cueing it, I almost wondered if he was going to play it off the yellow, because he fairly fired it in there. You see people just trying to drop those in dead weight, but no such thing.
And this is a different ask for Scott, because he's blown most opponents away and he's finding himself behind. So I'm sure in many a match he's been behind and come back, but it's a little character test at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's probably fair to say that in his first final against Liam Dunster, Liam wasn't able to really push him, was he?
No, but I mean, it's always good to. I mean, you saw a few matches where players are well behind and come back, and you always feel that Mick must have felt $1 million when he came back against Mark Farnsworth from 10-7 down, because 10-7 he's probably believing he's out of the tournament, and I'm sure that Scott won't want to fall too far behind when he's having to rely on the breaks.
There's been some incredible comebacks this weekend as well, hasn't there? There's obviously Mark Farnsworth against Shane Thompson last night, when Shane was 9-3 ahead, I think, and ended up losing 11-9.
9-4, yeah, and the balls just didn't forgive me, but he made a mistake, and Mark just does what Mark does. He got down, cleared up, cleared another one up, cleared another one up, and then all of a sudden the pressure changed on him.
Yeah. A bit more angle. Wow. I say a bit more angle. This is a lot more angle. I think Scott frustrated himself there. And, I don't think he can hold this, can he?
I can spin it in with a little bit of side, I think, and hold it.
Just drag it.
There you go.
No, he was able to.
Flicked a little bit of side up and took all the pace out of the cue ball. Clever little shot. That's where the real top players know them shots. And,
just know exactly how that cue ball's going to react.
An amateur player may have tried to clip that in and just run out of position, but you talk about spinning the cue ball, just did it to a tee, really.
Use a tiny bit of check in it. Just kills
It was
the
a bit
ball
of
off the
it
top round.
wasn't check, it was running. He spun it into it, and that threw the red into the pocket.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite effect.
Oh, okay. Nice to see people tuning in from around the world. As Auguste is tuning in from France. I'm sure there's
No idea what he says, but
no. Be interesting. Let us know where you're watching from.
see the stats there. 4-2 to Shaun Storry. 1 foul break. No dry breaks. A dish and a reverse dish.
Scott Gillespie to break, trailing 4 frames to 2. Time
Scott
running.
with the break. And if he can find a break dish here, pull back within 1 frame, and he's firmly back in this game. This looks dry.
The cue ball was flying around the table then as well.
Yeah.
Time running.
Yeah, we've mentioned that before, and that's maybe just something he needs to work on, is to get a hold of that cue ball and try and park it.
Well, I think he didn't time it properly. That's why the cue ball screwed back so quick. Where normally you'd want the cue ball to stop dead. So I think he just didn't quite hit the brake properly. Still got a great split. There's only 5 balls left in the bottom end of the table.
Cam Lawless watching from Australia. Welcome to the Supreme Pool Series. Glad to have you on board. And while we're on the subject, wherever you are in the world, why don't you send a photo of how you watch the final on a Sunday night. Send it into the Beard Productions Facebook page. You can send us a message. Just take a selfie of yourself watching the game, whether it be in your lounge, on your laptop, on your TV, eating your late Sunday dinner, whatever it may be. Send us a photo and we'll see if we can show your photo in between the frames.
It's a dangerous question to ask that one. Please keep them clean.
We can always monitor what comes in. We'll just put up the clean ones. It's fine.
See, Sean's got a chance here, but you can see there's a red close to the yellow on the right hand side. And that'll need to be attacked sooner rather than later. I think that's his plan now. He's going to punch a cue ball over and get the cue ball somewhere near to the second yellow. The one furthest away from the cushion.
Lee Rainen also watching.
It's a good shot. Good
from Australia. Must be very early morning over there. It's about 8 AM, I think, isn't it, in Oz? Am I right in thinking they're 10, 11 hours ahead?
Yeah, you're probably right.
So good morning to you. Christopher Slacks in Cancun.
Always miss that one. And I like the fact that even though you're playing on a new cloth, that pot was missed and it stayed.
Yeah.
Where sometimes you play on cloths which are new and they slide in and you can get a bit of a free go. Where I like the fact that he did catch it early and it did stay. I don't know if the yellow's far enough where you can pot it in the middle and cannon the yellow down and pot the red. I don't know if you can play with that much power, but if it could, it would definitely open the frame up. Other than that, you'd have to play the safety.
10 seconds.
That's what he's done. He's trying to get the
Total snooker.
two visits.
John Bell saying that Gary Gillies has got both of these players in the Calcutta.
Has he?
Wow.
He's a lucky man then.
That's,
So guaranteed £21,000 if that's the case.
That's some buying if that's true. He'll be a very happy man.
Yeah, I think it's the first time he's got involved with the Calcutta, so congratulations if that's the case, and spend your money wisely. Buy yourself a new car or something.
This will be some shot. I was going to say, if this comes off, it'll be some shot.
12, 1 free shot, 1 visit.
Wild.
It was a good effort. He was trying to make the cue ball arc, and I think the power that he put on it sort of stopped it from curving back.
It was starting to. On a 12-foot table, it might have got there, but
I think he needed to get a little bit less pace. But I think I would pot the ball and the ball carrier first. You can leave yourself an angle and cannon the yellow out, then it's plain sailing then.
if you haven't done so before, please do head across to the Players Pool Events page and give it a like, and you can see all of the upcoming action, the build up to the grand final, all of the bookies prices on there.
I don't really get this shot. I would just pop this ball and cannon it out. That's the right shot for me. I mean, I don't play these rules, but surely he's got to be potting it. He is doing. This is definitely the correct shot. Now he's putting another one safe. He plays the rules, I don't, but I think I would have been potting it, and I think he just wanted an extra ball to make it difficult.
He knew straight away. As soon as he let go of the cue there, he played that too thin.
Do you
See
think,
from
do you
his
think
body
that's 'cause he's
language.
thinking a little bit negative?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Scott normally wouldn't be worried about knocking another one safe. He'd be going out for the finish and just leave the one at the bottom.
So as I mentioned before, it's something we tried before during a money match, and it worked really well. So if you want to take a photo of yourself watching the final and show us how you do it, send it into the Beard Productions page, send it in via message, and we'll see if we can play it during the breaks between the games. Something fun, keeps it interactive for you guys. He's not come high enough there. He's gonna have to reroute. Go up table. Needs to cue this well.
He's absolutely fine. He's a great cueist. He just needs to settle in this match now and slowly clawing the frames back.
That's a great camera angle. It just shows you literally
Dead straight cueing.
a couple of simple drop-ins, basically.
There's a big frame there for Scott Gillespie. To get back within one frame was quite important. 4 frames to 3 to Shaun Storry. You can see the trophy there that one of these lucky players is going to win. We've got 5 different ones for all the events and try to get something different, and hopefully the players like those trophies I've chosen.
Yeah, I think it's a stunning trophy. And in return for this stream today, guys, all we ask from anybody that's watching is that you like and share the stream. The share button is at the bottom of the screen. You can share it on Facebook, onto your timelines, and make sure nobody misses this. What's building up into an exciting final. Scott just stepped away. In fact, both players have stepped out of the arena for a comfort break. You can see people still watching on. Some are yawning, may have been here all weekend, the same as us.
Yeah, and the players that were not in the event, if they want to look to join next year, join the Players Pool Events Facebook page. All details will be on there shortly. Dates are already announced.
And on reflection, how do you feel about your decision to incorporate the shark rack?
I think it's great. It speeds of then the matches up. I did work with the shark company to get it right. I wanted it to be how it would work easiest for the game, and we slightly adapted it from the original short rack, and I think we've got there with it. It does the job, does it very well.
Shaun Storry to break, leading 4 frames to 3. Time running.
Just a photograph with the Kapow with the trophy. Sorry mate, you didn't win it, but you did get to hold it.
He said he stole the trophy before he left, and he's replaced it with a fake.
And see, you talk about the short rack, that just shows the benefit of it. Okay, that for a split again.
Yeah, makes for aggressive, fast attacking pool.
Well, it becomes a serve like in tennis when you can hit them as hard as these two guys are doing off the break. If you're making a ball, you expect them to take the finish out. It's got choices of reds or yellows. They're both in a great position on the table. He's chosen the reds. He's got a cannon the yellow away. Cannon the red instead. That's what he played to do. Just a bad goal by me. Excellent shot. I mean, there's no difficult pots here. It's all about cue ball control and maintaining the right angle.
And the bookie had this priced up beforehand. I think Shaun Storry was 7-4. So Scott was quite a big favourite. I guess on paper that's probably around about right. Of course, favourites are always there to be beaten. And I imagine with some of the results over this weekend, the bookies had a fairly good weekend.
Yeah, it's always hard to get the matches right.
Yeah.
When people are bringing accumulators in. And
he's a good addition though, isn't it? It adds I was saying earlier on, there's been layers of interest added as the series has gone on. You've got Daz Shaun, who does the sweepstake, and now he's brought in the grabber group, which is another great addition. You've got the bookie, you've got the Calcutta, and there's all this. It just generates excitement and interest, and gets people talking about the series.
yeah, it's something different. So it's not just a game of pool. And it's one of the things I've said all along. It isn't just about somebody tuning in and watching a game of pool. You need the player interviews. You need to find out what's been going on at the event. You need more than one table, because if you just stream one table, you don't get the full story of the whole event. So if you get in 3 or 4 streams, you can see the characters, and the fans can watch more of the players. And you can't please everybody to get all your favourite matches on, but the obvious ones we do put on, and we try to share the other ones around. He's going to have to take the one down the rail. I think this originally would have been the one for the black, but he needs to bring the cue ball roughly back to what it is now. That's exactly what he's done. It's a very good shot. The reason why he did that was so he'd have the right angle when he drops it around the middle, bring the cue ball down the table, so he can play the 8 ball in the opposite middle. He can go either side of this yellow. Just come inside it. Great position now to push the lead on again. Extends it back to a 2-frame deficit for Scott. I think we need to convince Greg Batten to stay, even if he isn't in the final next time. He's one of the best commentators that we have.
Oh yeah, Greg's great to commentate with. Always good fun.
Gets me out of here as well.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'd like to thank everybody that's contributed, and the commentary team. Without you guys, there's nothing for the players and the fans to watch. You know, it's okay just watching the finishes, but you need a bit of character, and you know, we do appreciate the time you give up to commentate.
Oh man, have to enjoy it, don't you? I mean, I'm a massive fan of the game. Played it for probably best part of 30 years, and probably watch it more than is healthy. Watch more pool than most people, so just enjoy being involved in the series. It's fantastic for Paul, and to be able to come along to these events and meet all of the, I mean, when I started commentating about 5 years ago, I never dreamt that I'd get opportunities to sit alongside as many world champions as I have. Even back in the day, it was when we were doing money matches and other events, it was a thrill to commentate with people like Jack Whelan and Gareth Hibbert. And then since then, Chris Manning and Darren Appleton, the list just goes on, and of course Gaz Potts, and I think it's just brilliant. I am
You do
merely a fan of the game.
Well, you do a great job, Nick. And when you first got involved, I was really pleased because I think you've got a good tone to your voice which works well for commentary. And obviously, you pick up more knowledge the more pools you watch. And then you sit in with people like of Gareth, Darren Appleton, Chris Mallin, and you understand things, and they tell you little stories, and you get an insight to a pool player's life.
Yeah, that's for absolute sure.
Another player which I thought was very good in the commentary was Ronan McCarthy.
Yes.
He's got a great sense of humour. He's quite dry.
Very funny. Very funny.
That's a sense of humour I like.
And one of the guys who I think both Paul and I were very impressed was the young Scotsman Jordan Templeton. He was brilliant on commentary. Looking forward to working with him again one day.
And back on the game, you see Scott trying to pot the yellow and flip those two balls apart, and he hasn't, so now he's having to play a safety, draw the cue ball back. Doesn't want to tie the yellow ball up. You can see he has snookered him. But the problem for Scott, though, you would expect Shaun to hit out of the snooker. His yellow is tied up. The other two yellows at the bottom of the table are not in great position. Well executed the shot there from Shaun. I think on the last shot when he played the snooker, I think he would have been back to play the snooker while he screwed on and off the cushion and just slightly developed the yellow, and even if he didn't snooker him, just force him to flip the red away. Just pushing the yellow into the corner. Just about trying to gain a bit of control back now.
Yeah, it's an ugly table now, isn't it? It's neither player can attack from here. And you being a tactician yourself, you'll understand these kind of situations. Do you understand them even in black ball?
I do, but I'm going to miss the odd the shot where you can play like the skill shot, or it's a total different mindset. The black ball to world rules. I didn't see the value in that shot he played.
No, I mean even if he, it's just super aggressive, isn't it? Even if he moves it out and gets on something, he's still got three balls tied up at the bottom of the table.
Well, I'll go back on something that Mick Hill said when we had the interview. He said it's knowing when to keep your opponent under the gun, I think he called it.
Yeah.
And he's got Scott slightly under the gun, and I think by playing that shot so aggressively, he was pushing the boat out a little bit, and
he's just letting off, isn't he? He's giving him the frame.
Well, instead of being in total control of the match, and he's probably now giving him a chance to get within one again, which I'm a little bit surprised that he did play that. See if the 8 ball does pass. It clearly does. You'd like to be right behind it when he plays it because I think the red looks over some of the pocket.
So you can just bring the white naturally through the gap of the reds, and when we
I think he would like to be a bit further into the middle of the table there because now he's on the yellow, but to get plumb straight on the black, he's probably going to have to leave a better distance because he doesn't want to go into the red on the cushion. He's going to punch on and off the rail. And he sees that to leave the distance where if he got more angle, he could have probably gained another foot.
still fully expect him to get this one though. He's got looking straight down the barrel of his cue. And,
solid pot.
yeah, very much so. And it's quite interesting looking at that style. His chin in that classical pose right above the cue, and the cue in the centre of his chin.
There's not a lot of things to go wrong. It's technically where you should be.
It was funny actually, because we were watching Mark Boyle against Jordan Shepherd earlier, and it's noticeable that they both play to one side of their face. They play, I think I'm right in saying that Mark plays to the left side of his chin and Jordan plays to the right side. And Jordan has only got one decent eye, so I think his right eye is stronger, so he's using that obviously to sight down his cue.
And Gareth does the same, he cues under one eye.
Yeah, and noticeably, obviously Mark now started wearing glasses with a decent amount of success as well, and that would suggest he's probably got one strong eye as well. So that it's not often, you don't see many snooker players do that, do you? I mean, it's that classic of keeping the cue right between both eyes, so you can basically, you try to sight with both eyes, you've probably got one stronger eye than the other anyway.
Yeah, I think with snooker you have to be so technically correct, whereas with pool, with him in a smaller area, you can get away with a bit more. And
so Shaun Storry really has let Scott back in this game. Okay, Scott's taking his chances, but Shaun's definitely given him a couple. And just one frame behind now.
yeah, that's a very good break. Definitely going to be taking the reds. Showing you with his hand what he wants a cue ball to be. If that's the case, he's running around 3 cushions. 1, 2, third cushion. Needs to get away from the black. Just okay. Just enough cue room there.
Yep, and also looks like he's got a decent angle as well.
Although the reds are in the open, there's 2 groups at the top, aren't there, where they sort of in the way of each other, so you just need the cue ball in the right area.
And there's some traffic of the yellows in between as well, so yeah, very much about cue ball control. The 2 to the top left may be slightly tricky because I mean, they do plant, but it's a plant you've got to make. And if you try and take the one closest to the pocket first, it's really difficult to get the cue ball back out.
Yeah, I think it's the other ones for me, the problem where you've got to get the right angle, so he needs to tap the other side first, and then I think he can just drop the plant in from low, and then he's going to, all his work will be done, so he needs to get on the top right-hand ball now, ideally, and I imagine he's just going to draw up in between the yellow and the 8. That's exactly what he's done. He's absolutely perfect. He's attacked the top right-hand side, drop that one in, stay low and play the plant. Just needs to come far enough out so he can have virtually full ball on the plant. He's showing you now what he wants to be.
He's almost got a natural angle just to play into the back of the yellow, isn't he?
I don't think he needs to go anywhere near there.
No.
I think he can just drop it short. There you go. Perfect. He'll have natural position on either one of these two reds. Again, he's got a choice whichever way he wants to go.
Imagine he'll probably take the one to the right first. Just showing you again with
I
his...
think I'll go top left.
Yeah, I personally
Just
would,
check
but the way
it
he
in
was queuing...
and draw back up. Because
Yeah.
you've got loads of room to get on the 8 ball
Yeah.
then. A little bit of check side on it. Drop the cue ball just above the line. Absolutely perfect. Now you can run on and off the rail through the gap and be straight on the black in the middle. There you go.
Well,
Well executed finish.
I was going to say, technically, that was a really highly skilled clearance there. I mean, it looked simple, but the cue ball control, he's kept the cue ball in an absolute string there.
I think it was simple because he went the right way. He
Yeah.
chose his order. He knew the right hand side would be the key. If he could clear that, the left hand side was open.
Yeah.
So to get one good positional shot. And when he drew up down the centre of the table, that was the shot for me.
Yeah.
That was a winner.
One of those clearances that he should be making, but there are potential banana skins, and if you don't control the cue ball well, then something can go wrong. So, and also showed some good character there as well. He's got Scott fighting back at him, but put all of that behind him, made a really good clearance to pull two frames ahead again, and he's 5 away from the finishing line.
I thought Jizzy was in the building for a second then. Look over Scott's shoulder. He has been in. He has practiced in here before.
It's funny because I looked across there, and is it John McDonald, the guy who does the announcing on it? I suddenly saw his face, and I was like, "What's he doing in here?" Suddenly realised it was
Did a
the
far
TV.
better job than Lee could. He certainly could.
Scott Gillespie to break, trailing 6 frames to 4. Time running.
You see in the background there, our sponsor, Supreme Pool. They do an excellent light, which we fit in here now, and I'm sure will be the #1 light, just like the table is a #1 table for the players. It's the first time that they had to mark the short rack. One ball stayed on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
11th frame.
That will ball marker out.
Time running.
And you can always use that as a bit of a tactical edge as well, can't you? Because you only get a 45-second clock, so sometimes just asking the ref to move the rack just buys you that extra little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, I've instructed the refs that if anybody needs a cue ball cleaning, that the player goes back to the seat,
Yeah.
so they're not
Yeah.
gaining too much of an advantage. Yes, they're going to come back and have a look, but you don't want people pacing around and using
Yeah,
longer
yeah.
than they need to.
And this game being played at a pretty fast pace. We haven't heard that call of 10 seconds from Viv for quite some time, have we?
No, and
Very few and far between.
that's the style of the player, and also the fact that I think we said about the short rack, they're two good breakers, but I think the short rack doesn't really give you many bad breaks. It opens the game up, which is great.
I think he played to get a little bit lower to play this this yellow to middle, but he's still okay.
It's okay. I think you can slide across and play a little cannon into the higher of the two yellows. There you go. Still a bit of work to be done because he's now going to take the one he played position on in the bottom left-hand corner.
Probably spin around 2 rails, do you think? And
Well, if he goes 2, he's got a choice. He's got a gap between the 2 reds on the right hand side. He can land on the middle or the corner, so...
You can see him just putting on a touch aside just to help the white round. And he's played that perfectly well.
I think he is slightly short on both, though. He's slightly running away. I think he would have liked another
Half a roll.
Half a roll, yeah. Or a full sandwich. Nipping it back. Yeah. He was slightly too high, but he's still okay. Pinch a bit in the pocket and hold the cue ball roughly where the yellow is. Yeah. The ball's width back. He's hanging in there, isn't he, Scott? He's doing what's needed.
Well, this is Scott pretty much getting a taste of his own medicine, because this is virtually what he did to Declan Brennan late last night. Declan was always chasing and would pull back within 1 frame, and Scott would go 2 ahead again. Still chasing the game, but only 1 frame behind, and it's
all to play for, as I say.
yeah, very much in the balance.
At the halfway mark.
And I think the change in schedule has really gone down well as well. I think it's a great idea to change to the 16 rather than the last 8. Take out that basically take out that 1 level, and it means a more reasonable finish for all involved.
Yeah, I don't really take the credit for that. That was Darren Appleton has suggested to do it a different way, and Lee had a look at it, and we were going to change it for the first event, but we thought we didn't save that much time and we were worried about the backlog of matches. And then we had another good look at it, and Lee said, no, it will work. And we tried it in the last event, and we finished, I think it was about 10 o'clock last time, and we'll be a bit later this time because the matches didn't run on. We had a lot of 11-10s, didn't we? And I think we're waiting on the Cousins Singleton match, which is another 11-10.
Time running.
Have a chance to see the powerful break of Shaun. Crossed him again.
Huge.
Huge, but I think there's a little bit more work to be done. I think the top right-hand corners are red and yellow. I thought Rick was going to do the tablecloth trick there, where you pull it away quick and hope it stays.
I'm sure they wish they could do that sometimes. The key.
I think he was hoping that Paul wasn't going to change the camera angle, so
So he wasn't.
wasn't in full shot of doing his work.
Great job here by referee Rick Lloyd. So, Reds look to be the favourite ball, but as Lee alluded to, there's a bit of work to be done. We've got these 2 tied up towards the top right pocket, and if they were in any way set to a plant, he would have opened the account with that, but they're not. So
I think he's hoping to play the plan, but later on in the finish, I think he wanted to clear this area by the 8 ball.
yeah,
He hasn't, just left himself a little bit awkward.
No.
Yeah, he didn't time that one well. He sort of like, see how the white stun run through and just played it through with a bit of side. And
So his body language as well, he knew immediately.
it's difficult to play perfect pool all the time, but they certainly played to a very high standard. Just the odd slack shot.
Now Scott looking to see whether something will pass cushion first, squeeze into that top left pocket.
Yeah, it will. The one nearest the right middle will.
Yeah.
And that's why he won't be taking it now. I'll slide off the cushion off the red and end.
Sorry, extension call.
I want to play the yellow to the bottom right hand corner and draw the cue ball back, probably for the one by the 8 ball. Then you can get dead straight. He's not playing that very well.
No, he's not got through it. I'm still looking at this shot, but a lot more difficult.
It's a blind.
Playing it backwards into a
blind pocket
yeah.
now. I don't think if he plays one by the 8, he can hold the cue ball. I think he'll lose it to the left hand side of the table. I think he's forced into playing the one that we were talking about now.
Is he looking to see if he can hold on the black?
Well, he might take the yellow in the middle next and play the cannon. Well, he could. He could hold it.
Still a lot of work to do.
Well, there's no guarantee of making the pot, but he will be trying to play position where he can get to the yellow, which is tied up by the red at the minute. Is he going to the middle? Oh, what a shot that is. Has he been lucky? He's been very lucky.
Goodness. Skill shot
Well,
here.
I think he played one skill shot.
He did, yeah.
If he's played the other one, he's a magician. He's even better than I thought he was if he saw that coming.
Can he nip this one in and just run off the face of the other, just play a little delicate shot and try and leave?
Yeah, he can play into the other one 4 ball, double kiss, that's it.
Yeah.
He's played that double kiss, and that would hold the white and the yellow, so it's a clever little shot. Now he just needs to get the right angle on this. He's going to be coming across over towards where his Q-tip is now, just show you the angle he wants.
Yeah, important he gets the right angle. If he finishes anything like straight or below, then I'm just going to struggle to get on this black. And
Looks pretty damn good.
played well. Now I can just, it's a natural angle, just to play this to middle. The white's going to float down. Again,
I think he was willing that. I wonder he dropped it
yeah,
through.
his body language again almost felt like done something wrong.
Yeah, you see, he just held his hand up there, so he clearly didn't play, which I didn't think he did. The red over the top left-hand pocket. He did certainly play the cannon to put the red over the top right. But with the ball trailing over there, if he doesn't go in, he's in all sorts of trouble.
Again, guys, if I could remind you, I mean, it's now 6 frames each, and this match is really heating up. If you'd be so kind to like and share, and got some of your photos coming, which is great. This one is Carl Courtney taking a selfie, watching on his TV. Brilliant pictures. And here we go, Jamie McCutcheon from Scott Gillespie's hometown of Larkhall. Also got it.
Is that where Craig Lakin's from as well? Oh, Larkhall. Rusty's mate, Larkin.
Yeah, yeah. Larkhall Towers. And yeah, great pictures. Also watching it on his smart TV. So those of you watching on Facebook, you're missing out. Get your smart TV on and get the YouTube app up and search for the Beard Productions channel. And keep those photos coming. It's great to see you watching the, well, basically you watching us.
Time running.
big break.
Time ready.
They've gone everywhere again. Again, he has a choice of whichever suit he wants to go. He's chosen the yellows. He doesn't need to nominate the yellows. Just the first ball you pot after the break, you're on.
And yeah, again, before we showed those photos, I would ask if you could just like and share the stream. It gets out onto your timelines. I'm sure you've got friends and family who would enjoy watching the conclusion of this great weekend of pool.
Yeah, we've been fortunate enough to have 2 sponsors here this weekend. Fred from K8.com. Thanks for coming up, Fred. Nice to meet you again. And also Laura Martin from Supreme Pool. Great to have the sponsors, showing the support.
Yeah, and generally good feedback from them. They've enjoyed the event. I would imagine if they're watching it on TV, it's a pretty good spectacle. Wow, there's another
Hand up in the air again,
Yeah.
his apology. And these sort of things will start to annoy Shaun because they're 2 little bits of rub there. He just needs to stay focused. And he said he works on that side of his game. He just needs to stay strong because they can affect you.
Yep.
And my England teammate is really good friends with Shaun Storry, is Chris Day. Always stays to the end with him. He's just purchased a new Supreme table with the cloth on it.
10 seconds.
Extension called.
No, I mean, it's great, like I said before, to have the sponsors come and show the support and show that they care, really. They don't have to come on a Sunday night. I'm sure they've got a lot better things to do than come and watch pool.
So it's finished just the wrong side of this yellow to right centre. Still got.
He's okay though, Nick. He can drop it in and just take the other one to the middle and run in and out of bulk.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to take the risk of playing it with all sorts of side and just drop it in, take your medicine and see, he's just dropping it and
Yeah, playing ball.
yeah, leaving himself a shot.
Yeah, always backing themselves to take these shots out. And again, just playing cue ball to come on and off.
Too pushing a couple of things which I'm a little bit worried for Scott in the sense because he's showing a little bit of body movement on shots like that, so he's sort of wooling him in. He's better when he's solid on his cue.
It was much more solid.
Yeah, obviously as you get to the closer to the winning line, the tension gets more.
Again, nice goals, and for the first time in this final, Scott Gillespie takes the lead.
Yeah, and it's probably because he knew it was important for him to get the lead, and it was a big chance to get that lead, and he didn't want to throw it away. And I think he just needs to settle down a bit.
Shaun Storry to break, trailing 7 frames to 6. Time running.
14th frame. Behind for the first time in the match. The cue ball seems to go over to the right hand side of the table from the break. Most times.
Time running.
He's going to want to take yellows here. And that's going to be dictated by the yellow over the bottom right corner. But, well, either set not without their problems, are they?
I think I'm right in saying he can play the red onto the yellow and beyond the yellows, can't he?
Yes.
Thinking whether he would take the red and plant it down, just run through and nudge the other yellow out if he can't play the plant down. So the red onto the yellow and develop the other yellow. That's what he's played. He's played it poorly.
Oh, wow, he's missed the plan.
And that's because he played it with a lot of side. I think he didn't need to. I think he just topped it through. So maybe a little sign of tension in Shaun's arm as well, because he's lost the lead now.
Yeah, this is now a different kind of pressure on him. He's had the pressure of the lead. And now he's going to be on Scott's coattails.
Extension called.
Taking the extra few seconds to work out the route around the table. Often players will do that, these early stages of the frame, mapping out the frame. It's about the most important time. So nothing else but just drop that yellow in, dead weight, and leave this one over the middle.
Yeah, he's just showing you where he wants a cue ball. The yellow does go on the top left.
So he's can't avoid the can on the red here.
I think he's going to play the plant and run the cue ball off the rail.
Ah, of course, yeah. I think he'll probably take the yellow to top corner only because it's the it kind of offers the natural path around the table. Then he can come back down to the one to bottom right, and each one kind of lends position to the next ball. He can kind of work around in a square now. So he'll take the one to bottom right, and then the yellow closest to us to bottom left, and then that can leave an angle for the one in the middle, and then that's a natural path for the black. So
Yeah, it's just one positional shot, Nick. If he not this shot, it's a one after. When he runs through, he just needs to make sure he's got the cue ball through past the red so he can drop the yellow in the middle. I fully expect that not to be a problem for Scott. But he just needs to be mindful he gets the cue ball through the gap.
I've gone a different route.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, so am I. It felt like he could just run through a few inches and leave that pretty straight.
If you run through, they can just get off straight and then top through on and off the cushion.
Now this is a skinny little cut to middle.
Or a double.
He's going to double it, isn't he? Well, I felt that was the only way it could go wrong, but he obviously confident in taking that double. Backing himself, and quite rightly so. And now you're seeing a slightly different Scott Gillespie than you saw in the first half of the match, playing with confidence. And he goes 2 frames clear, and all the pressure mounting back on Shaun Storry. What can he do about this? Scott Gillespie will break frame number 15, and big advantage. So another look at some of your pictures. Chris Stevenson, look at this for a picture. Fantastic. he is watching in the gym. So obviously you can get YouTube up in the gymnasium, and he's got it on his running machine or on his bike there. What a great picture that is. Brilliant. He's having a workout whilst watching the pool. And again, watching Hugh Thompson is having a practice on his own table. And I think, Hugh, that table would look better with a grey cloth on it, wouldn't it, Lee?
I think it would. Might have to paint the blue at the top as well.
Yeah.
But that's a nice pool room.
Yeah.
Good room, Hugh.
Great pictures. Thanks for sending them in. It's just great to see you guys enjoying this final. Makes another ball from the break. Both players been breaking pretty well. Both been making balls. And he's quickly going to choose reds and doesn't need to take any time of deciding on this clearance. He's just gone up and nudged that red next to the black, and if anything, made it a bit more awkward. It now goes to bottom left. It should be absolutely fine, but a minute ago it went to a couple of different bags. Oh dear. And I'll tell you something, just a couple of minutes ago that red was below the black and he would have had that as an option. Now, I think he's in a bit of trouble here. I don't think he can get through to the red closest to the top cushion.
You could probably play the red in the open off the other one. You could play the one middle of the table into the blind pocket.
Yeah.
Probably more of a sensible shot.
10 seconds.
But what appeared to be a fairly simple clearance is now made a lot more tricky.
He's looking to flick off the cushion, but he's slightly hampered with his bridging.
That's a tough shot. Cue ball's going to come out naturally.
It's a great shot.
Brilliant.
Where's the cue ball?
He's fine.
And that would be John Virgo impression. Where's the cue ball?
Yeah, super shot. Well done. Good control. And now, back in, well, I was just about to say now, back in prime position, but he's overhit that one by a good 6 or 8 inches. Again, he's still okay. He can cut this red to bottom left, and I think he can stun to the one on the right rail. Do you think he can hold?
He's got choices. He's got that shot you've just suggested. He can play the one in the middle. Excellent shot. Well coached. Bounce off the cushion in perfect position now.
Yeah. Again, one of these shots that just need to time it really well. These top players just time their shots so well.
Seems to settle down again now. He had a couple of edgy ones, and now it looks like he's stroking the ball better.
And looking ominous for Shaun Storry. And am I right in thinking was Shaun 6-1 ahead?
In this match?
Yeah.
No, it was 4-1.
4-1, sorry.
Got me at it then. I'm thinking.
No, yeah.
I thought you were on about an early match, but
No,
no,
no.
it was 4-1 and
It was 4-1.
got back to 4-3, I think it
So
was.
Scott winning this little session, 8 frames to 2. This middle session of the game.
Yeah, well, for Scott, he just wants to get to 10 to to know he's in like the box seat to win. And on the reverse side, that Shaun will be thinking, I don't want him to get to 10 because then one mistake and I'm out.
There you see the stats, the story of the match so far. Balls potted from the break, and missed pots really tells the story, doesn't it? 5 missed pots for Shaun and only 1 for Scott, and that probably making up the difference.
Only one dry break in the whole match.
Yeah, incredible. Just mentioned earlier that they've been potting off nearly every break. And 7 break dishes between the two of them. It's impressive in itself.
Shaun Storry to break, trailing 9 frames to 6.
15 frames we've had and 7 break dishes, so just under 50%. That's really impressive.
Again, the cue ball goes over to the same side cushion, but this time he doesn't make a ball, so...
Yeah, we were just saying
I think I put
only
a
one
kiss of death on him.
Commentators curse, they call that lead. I do it all the time.
He's got a thin cut into the top right. And the cue ball's going to be going over towards the red and the yellow. He's trying to screw full ball into the yellow to just kiss the red out of the way. He's got too much on it. That's the grippiness of the cloth. Weighted. It's going to be difficult to get back on that ball now. I can't see the obvious angle to break it out. Nice little cannon. He might have a chance here when he plays the one into the right and the centre. The cue ball's going to be going over towards the left. It's just whether he can get a nice cannon, which would leave him on another shot. Nothing guaranteed after this. Oh, he's looking to chance his arm, and when he pots someone in the middle, I think the cue will collide into the 2 reds in the middle of the table, and he's hoping to make a disturbance in the top left-hand corner. It's a big ask, to be honest, that. And a little bit of body movement came into it as well.
Shake of the head. He knows 3-frame lead. If he could turn that into a 4-frame lead, this match is as good as over. Shaun Storry just 2 behind is still a danger.
That's a good shot. He knew if he can in the back of that red, he'd put out the red, but he'd be on the one in the left-hand corners. You see where he's just stood.
Looking to come off the side rail, stand down for this red near the bulk line in the same pocket, and then he can just take the natural path of the white up to the top rail, take the one along the top rail.
Oh, well, I think he'll want to draw in between the two and get on the one in the middle. If he gets straight one in the middle, the work's done. There you go, he's gone over there. If he wants to be straight, he's okay. Still running off the cushion. See the one that you were on about getting on Nick, he can leave that to his next to last
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
and
yeah.
then just run down the line of the table and find the gap. It's a good shot. As you can see in that shot, Shaun is wearing no official shirt. The players have a choice to have them. Great shirt provided by Mint Promotions. They've done the shirts for the series, and I'd like to thank the girls, Emma and Michelle, for doing such a good job. And the players love the shirts.
So again, with a nice angle, cue ball naturally comes down the middle of the table. It's a big gap to find.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Absolutely perfect. Good shot. Again, he has the option to drop to the rail and out, or just screw across. I think he'll drop to the rail. So see Aramet, the ball providers. Great positional shot. A good finish that.
Nice control. And pulls back within 2 frames. Now it's 9-7. And it's still very much game on. That was a big frame for Shaun. Took his chance well.
Yeah, up to now, I'd say that's probably Shaun's biggest frame, because if Scott would have got to 10, I think the match is over. But to get back within 2 keeps the pressure on.
So this image from Robin Cripps. Look at that. He's watching from Cornwall, and there you go. He's got one eye looking at you and one eye looking for you.
Is Robin a professional snooker player, or was he a professional snooker player? In his,
Sure. That's a great picture.
I don't think he'd be potting many balls with his eyes like that, though.
Brilliant. Well done, Robin. Thanks for sending in that picture. We love a bit of humour.
Scott Gillespie to break, leading 9 frames to 7. Time running.
Rick was quick to snatch the short rack off the table, then the balls were still moving.
Get it off the table before a ball lands on it.
But if you do watch Scott's break, he always draws a cue ball back to the back cushion and out. So I don't think he's actually trying to part the cue ball. I think he's trying to like draw it back and then just run down the. If he was a snooker table, like the brown and the blue spot. And but what it certainly was a good open break. He's going to go the yellow balls, and he's got a couple by the 8 ball, and they're not a massive problem. Something he needs to navigate around. So it'd be interesting to see the route he chooses here, Nick. Ideally, we'd like to be able to just put the one on the bottom left and then play the one on the bottom right without playing the cannon, but I'm not sure what angle he's got. And he's bridging as well.
I think he has to play the cannon. He needed that to get right, and I think he's okay. Can he get through to the one in the middle?
He's plumb, yeah. He's
Yeah.
absolutely plumb. He can just pop that and draw the cue ball back to the middle of the table. I don't think he'll be dropping it. I think he'll probably play for the other one, but he has that choice. decided dropping them there. Putting them one in the middle between the yellow and the black. And they're on and off the cushion. Play it again.
So again, good clearance from Gillespie, and that takes him to the hill.
Yeah,
Big frame, that one.
it's a long way back now, and I think there'd have to be another momentum swing for Shaun to come into the match. Scott is breaking very well, and you'd expect him to get at least a chance off his break.
And this will be a bit of a one that got away for Shaun. Very much in control of the game early doors, and if Gillespie can go on to win this final frame and get himself across the line, what a story this series has been. To be 4 events down, and at the start of these events,
Shaun Storry to break.
everybody said
Trailing 10 frames to 7.
for certain there will be 4 different winners. But if Gillespie can finish this off, then there would have only been 2. Phil Harrison has won 2 events, and can Scott Gillespie do the similar thing?
Time running.
Yeah, and he's in a little bit of trouble now. You can see the yellows are in the open, so any mistake here could be the end of the tournament for him.
A shout out to David Byrne. He's got a business over there in Ireland where he sells his cues. Does a great job, and also thanks very much to Phil Contz for keeping in touch with us. Hope you're doing well, Phil. Another great referee.
Yeah, and that was probably because of the pressure that's been applied there. He's missed a tricky red to the middle, and I fully expect that to be his last shot, really. Scott's in here now. You'd fancy him to take the title home now.
So move the yellow, or I mean, it goes off the red. It goes off the red into
Well,
middle, doesn't it?
It
But
goes. The red's a little bit far back for me, so I think he'll play the soft cannon,
Yeah.
just nudge it out. He just doesn't want to stick to it, so he needs to hit it thin. Well, he's played it full into it, and he's landed good. You know,
Yeah.
he can take it long and just draw the cue ball onto the 2 reds. So this is the black one good pot. Oh, what's in with the cue ball? He's okay. Thought he'd run too far then. Expect him to stun that and then just hold.
Yeah, so when you stepped away from the commentary, I was just saying that, I mean, it is quite incredible that we're 4 events in and looks for the world that we're only going to have had 2 different winners. And I don't think anybody would have ever called that.
Oh no, it's amazing. I mean, two players that have done it or look like they're going to do it, you know, there is a potential that the decider could be the grand final where they should be number 1 and 2, I would have thought, in the rankings.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't meet if they stayed on the winner's side until the final.
Yeah.
I mean, that would just be a ridiculous
Oh
story.
my
really.
goodness, that would be some story. Absolutely incredible to come through this field and not just do it once but do it twice. Phil Harrison's already done it, and now Scott Gillespie's going to join him. What a feat this is. Hats off to him, and Shaun Storry has played a great part in the whole event. Thanks very much to Lee Kendall. He's just going to dive off and go and grab the winning player. I think he's going to do a quick interview with him in the arena. And as I say, I can't speak highly enough of Shaun Storry. He's played a great part in this story over the weekend. And thank you to all of us for joining us over this weekend. It's been a real thrill.
Jump out of the commentary box and jump into the arena. And first of all, I'll get Shaun to put his tea bag down. Shaun, first of all, shake your hand for a great tournament. I mean, Scott was fantastic in the final. I mean, you've got off to a great start, but he showed what character he had to come back and take the title.
Yeah, he's just broken just so many at the end. You know, I missed a couple of chances early doors, so I could have maybe built a lead just from him making a couple of mistakes early on. He looked a bit tired, and then he turned back into Scott again and didn't miss a ball after that, really, I don't think. So, yeah, he's an incredible player, and it's a pleasure to compete with him, to be fair. But he's a worthy winner, and it was awesome to watch.
Okay, well, I won't go too much into this because I'll get in depth on the tournament and how it was for you and Scott as well. But we'll do the trophy presentation. Have a quick word of Scott, but we will fire in there and keep the fans happy. But great tournament. And big hand for Shaun. Well, we will have his chat in there in a minute, but we'll have a little. We will speak in there after Scott. But first of all, I want to say it's a great feat. I mean, I didn't know much about you before this. I mean, the Black Ball side know everything about you. That's my ignorance rather than not knowing how good you are. But I think for you to make 2 finals out of 4, and the other guy that's done the same feat is Phil Harrison. You both now got 2 titles. So what does that mean to you?
I mean, to be honest, it's amazing. Obviously, me putting Phil out, I thought, I'm going to have to do this myself. I didn't have the backup of Phil to win a tournament. But no, I'm over the moon. I mean, that's a big win. I'd just like to say, well, great tournament, Shaun. You played well there, but obviously I just kind of got the better breaks and kind of pushed on towards the end. But no, I'm delighted, absolutely delighted.
Like I said, we will go in there and have a proper chat in a minute. So we'll get to the business end, and I'll get the trophy for you and the cheque, which is the most important thing. So our champion of the K8.com Classic 2018 of the Supreme Pool Series is Scott Gillespie. Yeah, raise it up for your fans, mate. Great performance. If my right-hand man, Lee Grout, would go and present the cheque. If you'd come and just take your photo, that'd be great. And then we'll shoot into the arena shortly.
3.
Okay, we're out of the main arena now and into the studio, and you know what a great final you two put on. I mean, at the start, Shaun, you got off to. Well, first of all, I want to say that you had a chance to go 2-0, and you must think, well, I've let him off now. He's gone 4-1 up on me.
Yeah.
How are you feeling a little bit there?
See, just before I go any further, Lee, my best friend's fiance, she just lost her father there, and I said to my friend, I said, listen, I'm going down here to win this to dedicate it to him. So I'd just like to say to Alison that was for your father.
Well, I'm sure they appreciate that, and there's a big burden for you to carry going into the final, knowing that you want to dedicate this big trophy to them. And,
yeah, it was, but I mean, I just felt as if he was with me, kind of thing. But back onto the match, the second frame, because always a broken finish first frame, off to a nice start, and Shaun's missed a loose ball, and I've went for the finish, and I should have got it. I've missed a yellow down the rail. And then kind of it's been a 3-frame swing, because instead of getting 2-0, I've ended up going 3-1 down, and like the miss Shaun's had out his head. So, and then he's went 4-1, but I've just plugged away and managed to come good in the end.
yeah, and Shaun, you must have the dream start for you really. You got off to a 4-1 start. You must have thinking, push on, you've got a chance.
Yeah, we played in the first event, which Scott obviously won. We played, I think, winners round 4, and it was similar. I missed a chance to go 4-3, and he just said goodbye and beat me 11-4. He didn't miss a ball after that. Probably the best anyone's ever played against me. So he missed a few today, which was nice. He let me get another 3 frame. So.
But no, I stopped you. You were just talking, analysing the match out there. I said, no, let's get down in the arena, in the studio, and you get your thoughts on it. I mean, what were you saying to each other then? Yeah,
that's what I just sort of saying. Basically, I says obviously we're missing that ball. I mean, 2-0 up, and then it's my break again. I probably don't get off then, because I'm a believer in pull punishes you. See if you play a loose shot, and that's what happened. Always like Shaun raced into a 4-1 lead, and it was just through I think Shaun missed it 4-1, but I was getting back to 1 frame, and then Shaun was just had an breaking dish. That was the middle part of the game. But then I think towards the end, I think I've nearly dished every one of my breaks I've done, you know what I mean? Yeah, there was a part of the match where I felt like you were like stretching for shots, and you felt like a little bit under pressure, and I just thought he could, if he makes a mistake, he could play on his mind. And always, like you say, with that burden, but no disrespect to Shaun, but everybody expects me to win that final there. And to be honest, I was like, it's a great chance to win 2, and I think I put a wee bit of pressure on myself, because I'm like, that's amazing. I mean, getting beat in the final was always a good achievement as well, but I think I put a wee bit more pressure on myself than what I should have. I think when you got to the 7th or the 8th frame on your side of the scoreboard, I think you relaxed a little bit then. I think when you were stretching and trying to push, I think the shot was when you put the yellow, you went through for the 8 ball. You were like willing it to go through, and if you watch a video back, you'd probably see what I saw. And but I think you settled down after then, and you looked strong at the back end of the match. Yeah, I snatched a bit at that, because always it's a big frame for me to go 2 up, and then always with me being 2 up, the pressure kind of reverts back onto Shaun a bit. Plus, always it's a big final for Shaun, you know what I mean? So I've been lucky towards the end there, but as I say, it's still been a great tournament for Shaun. Well, without a doubt, Shaun. I mean, you'll take a lot of positives from this, and you've won one of the events here. You've got to a final. I mean, that for your pool career, it's only going in one direction.
Hopefully, I work really hard on my game, so it's nice to get some rewards for it, because I've sort of won 3 decent sized tournaments last year, including the Bulldog, and sort of thinking I've worked harder than ever this year, and haven't really had anything to show for it, a tour semi-final, sort of semis and quarters, so it's nice to be back in a final. And I think, just those couple of misses early on, I missed a chance at 4-1, missed a chance at 4-2, and I'd done all the hard work, so then sort of misses I haven't been making at this whole weekend, really.
But it's learning, isn't it? You'll get them out of your game, and you'll be the other way around, you'll be picking the trophy, so that just comes with experience, I think. Yeah, hopefully. I'll keep working. Nick,
just touch on something with Shaun, actually. I mean, you look relaxed all the way through when you were ahead, when you were behind. It didn't seem to matter to you. And you mentioned the other day about maybe looking at the motivational videos beforehand and just getting yourself in the right mindset. Just wanted you to touch on that a little bit, because I think that's of great importance, just getting in the right mindset beforehand. Just briefly touch on your routine, just so the guys at home can maybe take something from it.
I mean, I'm still working on it, but it's mainly exactly that, having a plan before you go into a game, just thinking, you know, what are the aims? It can't be to win. That's the one thing you just can't focus on because you've got no control over it. It's just got to be, I'm going to go and play, give myself the best chance, and that's sort of the biggest thing I've worked on, whereas before where I was so focused on winning the match, and if things aren't going, you know, it's fine if things go your way, it's absolutely fine, you sort of buzz with confidence, and that's great, but you don't have that fight in you if it's all about winning, to sort of give it your all when you're behind, when it's not going your way, to turn it around, you know. So it's just giving yourself the best chance and fighting all the way through, really. That's the main thing I work on, and just staying positive, trying to listen to the positive thoughts in your head rather than negative ones, because they're all in there all the time, but you can choose what you focus on, and you can choose how you look at any situation. So
excellent.
we'll
I think
try
that's a
and find
great
the positives.
insight. And just like to say congratulations to both of you, especially Scott. I mean, I just touched on commentary that I don't think anybody believed that one person could win 2 events, let alone to be at event 4, and there's only been 2 winners. I think it's just a massive achievement, and it shows how your career's grown in the last couple of years. You've just absolutely flown through to be one of the top players of the game.
Yeah, but to be honest, I've always believed I'm a top player. I just maybe don't play as much as the so-called bigger players. But I always know in my day I can compete with anybody. But just to touch on another thing that's tough out there as well is I've only known Shaun since this series, and it's so tough to play against such a nice guy, because see, regardless what happens in the match, and always just what he says there a bit motivational stuff. I had a couple of nice wee rubs towards the end there, and he'll still applaud the shots even though it's a little lucky, and it's not really kind of well thought in the pool game. There's not a lot of people like that, so it is nice to see the good guys getting good runs in events.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd echo that. I think that people can't be gentlemen enough. I have seen, you know, in money matches, you'll often see the player clapping their opponent, and people say, well, why are you doing that? Because you're giving them positive energy, and you want to beat them. But actually, no, this is
Just appreciating your opponent.
Yeah, it's about the fundamentals of the game, and a mutual respect between each other, and it's great to see a final played with that kind of respect. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I think we'll wrap up, and a great final, like I said. But the biggest thing in 8-ball pool is going to come is a grand final, £51,000 to the winner. Which, if these guys win it, they'll be very happy men. But you know, it's going to be some event. It's the end of November and leads into December. Be a good Christmas present for whoever wins it. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back with the grand final of the Supreme Pool Series. Bye bye.